This guy makes $400,000 per month with his coaching business. His name is Samuel Millsap, also known as Sam Millsap. And he is hitting insane numbers like this with this coaching business by using a strategy that are called the Snapchat content strategy, plus a funnel with proper systems, strategies, and processes in place. And in this video, I'll be breaking down the whole $400,000 per month funnel and the strategy that Sam Millsap is using. So if you're a coach, creator, or a business owner, by the end of this video, you will know exactly how to use Sam Millsap's strategy plus funnel to start or scale your own info/coaching business. So let's get into it. So if you don't know who Sam Millsap is, essentially he started out as a fitness coach and scaled his own fitness offer to $50,000 per month. Then he transitioned over to consulting and switched to selling info after seeing the potential in that. Now Samuel Millsap, he basically teaches other online coaches how to scale their businesses. So he teaches them about content, audience engagement, authority tactics, etc. And he's currently doing $400,000 per month with his offer. So let's break down his funnel. And like any funnel out there, there's three main components: traffic, leads, and conversion. So let's start off with traffic. So for traffic, Samuel Millsap is mainly super IG and TikTok heavy. So let's first start off with Instagram and let's see exactly what he's doing on Instagram to actually get the traffic and build trust for that traffic. So currently at the time of recording this video, Samuel Millsap has 366,000 followers on Instagram, and basically his bio just states what he does. So he's a consultant for online coaches who he helping coaches scale from 0 to 30K per month, and basically a call to action to DM me coach for my step-by-step training. And here's just a link to his free training. Now if you break down his IG even more, there's mainly three main components. So first one is obviously pinned posts, second one is daily post and reels, and the third one is story sequences. So let's break these down, starting off with the pinned post. So Samuel Millsap doesn't just pin post any reels that has gone viral. He's using a very specific strategy and he's actually very smart with it. So let's break it down. So the first pin post he has is basically student results. So this pin post really just shares about the results that his students have got from his offer. The second pin post is basically the uses of his tactics. So what exactly are his tactics that he's teaching, and he's just showing basically the uses of the tactic. And the third pin post is just free sauce on about basically how he would start again from zero. So what all three of these posts do, first of all, it builds trust, it establishes him as authority in his niche, and it also shows his value. So if a new follower or a new viewer is coming to his profile and he goes through all of these pinned posts, he sees that he's getting his students results, his tactics actually work because students have seen results for him, and what are his tactics, and basically his value, his knowledge, and authority. So what all of these three pinned posts are doing, they're establishing trust, they're establishing authority, and they're giving the viewer value, so they actually end up following him. So he's not just randomly pin posting any reel that has gone viral, but he's actually really smart with it. So let's break down exactly what Sam Millsap is doing for his reels and his daily posts on Instagram. So he's putting out like a mixture of edits, raw conversations, live updates, and basically flexing. So now this is where the Snapchat content strategy comes into play, which I mentioned earlier, and I'll explain exactly what the strategy is and exactly how he's using it to stand out from the rest of the market and really get all this traffic in. So if you know Snapchat, you know that you could add your friends on Snapchat, you can send them snaps, and basically that's the same thing he's doing. His videos are basically like snaps that you send to your friends, and snaps, they're very raw, they're very authentic, and basically they're very bingeable. And that's exactly what his content is. His content is very raw, is very authentic, and it's extremely bingeable, that you just want to keep on watching it more, even though it's just very raw and very unauthentic. And that's exactly what Snapchat, snaps are, those are what you send to your friends. So basically he's adding his viewers like a friend on Snapchat, and he just spamming them with snaps every single day with value, with this lifestyle, flexing his lifestyle, and basically raw videos, just basically answering their questions, and basically they're very raw, very authentic. And what this does is that it builds trust, especially now that we're in an info trust recession, and before, all the kind of content that was posted was very authentic, very high production. It was very highly edited, and the human to human connection was really missing in that type of content. And what this kind of content does is that it basically challenges that type of content. Is very raw, very authentic, and it's very bingeable. So people keep on watching more of his content. They get to know more about his personality, the value he provides, his lifestyle. And what that does is that goes back to the same thing, is building trust, authority, and value. And they end up following him, checking on his pin posts, and getting even like trusting him even more, positioning him as authority, and he's providing even more value to them, so increase trust in him, which is very important for selling your offer. If your audience doesn't trust you, if your lead doesn't trust you, they will never buy from you. So this is basically what he's doing for daily posts and reels. As you can see, very raw, very authentic, nothing, just scrolling lifestyle. So very raw, very authentic, and using the Snapchat content strategy, which is basically just sending snaps to your friend. So in this case, sending snaps to your audience that are very raw, very authentic, and extremely bingeable. Now let's talk about story sequences, which I think is like the best thing out there. Story sequences is just a great way to get a bunch of sales, a bunch of booked calls, because essentially you're marketing to a pool of warm leads that already follow you, that already like, know, and trust you. So let's break down what essentially he's doing for stories and basically story sequences. So he's mainly, posting like, engagement stories to like actually basically right over here, ask me a question, regarding AI and online coaching questions, basically engaging with his audience. Then he's also sometimes he does like new launches of like his product, like right over here is like a free AI coaching course just dropped, just a promotion link, and then plus audience engagement plus flexing, talking about Lambo and Urus. So talking about the lifestyle that he has, that his audience actually wants, that his ICP actually wants, and basically engagement with his audience, which is actually really important. And another kind of story he posts for like manifesting stories, basically like right over here, he says manifesting and mention like one day. And what these kind of stories do is that they also show, SAM MILLSAP, he also has like achieved everything that he also wants to achieve more. So it's just like more the, basically lifestyle stories. And another kind of story he posts is like a free sauce, just talking about motivation, forcing uncomfortable situations. So this is what really, these kind of stories really just show his authority, his unique perspective on things, and really just like peel back the objections that his ICP might have when they actually go in and actually try to, apply for his program. And another kind of stories posts is sort of relatable stories like ending the night, like a date night. So these kind of stories, they're not just all like selling. They're showcasing his lifestyle, because if you just keep on selling to your audience on your stories, they will not just watch your stories. They're like, okay, this guy's gonna sell to me again. You know what? Instead, he's posting lifestyle stories, which is actually interesting to the viewer, to his follower, and promoting his stuff between them and showcasing his lifestyle, showcasing his authority, the lifestyle he's been able to achieve, with basically coaching, his unique mechanism, and basically just showing, peeling back objections of his audience. So this is essentially what he's doing for story sequences, and this is basically his strategy for Instagram. Now let's talk about TikTok. So on TikTok, Sam MILLSAP is pretty big. He almost has like 500,000 followers, and his bio just states, broke to millionaire in just 2 years. Basically his personal transformation. Here's how I did it, and a link to the free training, which we all know is just an undercover VSL to basically get the person to apply for his coaching program. Now on TikTok, it's the same thing, just similar short form on IG, edits, relatable stuff, but with more sit down talking videos on especially TikTok. So as you can see, he does a lot of sit down talking head videos, just very raw, very authentic, and he does it at insane volume. So I forgot to add this point to the Snapchat content strategy. Basically he's creating a bunch of these videos that are very raw, very authentic, and very bingeable. But in order for this strategy to actually work, you need to be creating actually in like immense amount of volume, because if you look at snaps, you send a lot of snaps to your friends on Snapchat. It's the same thing with this. You got to create an immense amount of production, immense amount of volume of videos for this to actually work. And basically most of his videos just end up flopping. Like these kind of ones, they just get like basically less than below even 1,000 views, but it's average like 4 to 8K views. But essentially, since he's putting a such amount of volume of videos, there's one video that actually hits, and like right over here, 14 million views. And then after the one video actually hits, he recreates the videos 5 different copies. So he's doubling down on that video, and he's doing it such immense value, and that's why he's getting so many leads, so much traffic, and that's how he's trading numbers like $400,000 per month, just simply based on IG and TikTok. So this is basically another touch point that I forgot to add on the Snapchat strategy. And this is essentially what he's doing for TikTok. So nothing crazy, just getting a lot of traffic through TikTok and IG, and actually funding all the traffic he gets from TikTok over to IG, where it's actually going to do most of the selling. Now let's talk about YouTube. Now essentially Sam Millsap, he's not very active on YouTube, but he does have huge potential. As you can see right over here, he has huge potential for more nurturing through long form content. If he actually starts locking in on YouTube, like you can see, he posted like 4 months back ago, and all of his videos have performed extremely well. Basically, if he actually logs in on YouTube, because YouTube, if you know, YouTube is the best client acquisition and the best place to actually nurture your leads and build trust with them the fastest way possible. It's the best platform for doing that. And especially in 2025, you can create a YouTube channel, a micro personal brand on YouTube channel, and attract and create videos specifically for your ICP. And even without going viral, you can print hundreds of thousands of dollars. Previously I was on IG as well. I'm still on IG. I had a coaching business on IG, which I officially shut down. And basically, I've shut down the business to build my personal brand on YouTube, build my micro personal brand on YouTube, because I realized the potential of this, and this is huge. And if Sam Millsap actually starts locking in, focusing on YouTube, he can make way more money, like right over here. His videos, they perform extremely well. So if you just break down the videos, there's a simple VSL of his story. There's some authority videos of his day in a life, his buying and picking up his Lamborghini Hurricane, his house, and these videos are doing extremely well, And most of these videos are not really, putting top of the funnel, which he's missing out on tons of engagement. Now, his video descriptions are not set up for high conversions at all. Right away, he has hashtags. This is simple, just a simple description, hashtags, and then basically a link to his wall, and which isn't really set up for like the best and the highest conversions. Instead, what a high conversion one would look like is a call to action, then a link to work with him, and then he could have like connect with me on IG, and then he could have like the hashtag. So if he actually logs in on YouTube and actually starts focusing on YouTube, I swear he would go from $400,000 per month to even like $500, $600, $700, $800,000 per month with his business. So this was mainly Sam Millsap's all the traffic sources he has, and basically his whole strategy for all of these platforms. Now, I want to break down another thing, like why do people even watch Sam Millsap's content, and exactly what is he exactly doing to make him stand out, and what makes him get so many leads that he's printing $400,000 per month. So let's break this down. So first of all, his content is super vulnerable content, and basically he just talks about life issues and anything that comes to his mind. Like as you can see, he's posting a lot of content, a lot of volume. He's answering questions and anything that comes to his mind, and he's posting a lot of them. So it's just super authentic content that really builds trust and is really bingeable. So that's the first thing he's doing. The second thing is the flashy dream and lifestyle. This is what his ICB actually wants. He has the home, he has the supercars, financial freedom, and basically everything. He has retired his parents, he's got the car lifestyle. This is what really makes the people also watch his videos, because they want that lifestyle as well, and he's already achieved it. The second thing is proof of money making. His story. Here's how I did broke to a million in just 2 years with online coaching. Here's how I did it, and basically picking up my Lamborghini, which is like basically the proof of making money. So trust right there as well. And then basically something that I believe that played a huge factor in his marketing is his story. He started from the bottom, grew up poor, NFL dreams, injuries, homeless, and now he's a millionaire. And this is what I think is really the contributing factor of his marketing. This is why he's getting so many people are trusting him, because he's like the comeback kid story, like the comeback kid marketing strategy. Everyone loves an underdog story, especially when it feels relatable to your own life. And his story was like that. He facing adversity, he experienced struggle, failures, loss, or a rock bottom moment. Refused to give up despite the odds. They chose to keep going or make a change. Transforms. They grew mentally, emotionally, physically, or spiritually. Return stronger. They overcome the challenges and come out better than before. This is essentially what was his story, which was a huge factor in his marketing. And Sam has been able to use his own story of how he overcame personal problems and the solutions that had in his life to do a 180 turn was coaching. His target audience resonates with the exact same struggles, and this is what inspires them to work with Sam and use coaching as a vehicle to change their own lives. So combined with this, the underdog story with the Snapchat method, that's what really really is playing a huge factor in his marketing and his traffic, and those are strategies using for traffic, which really gets him a lot of leads and those leads, he really builds, he's really established a trust and authority, and he's providing them a lot of value, which leads into more trust. So this is essentially what he's doing for marketing. And after he has the traffic, now how does he get interested leads? So let's break this down. So let's talk about leads. So mainly there's two main things. It's basically just a landing page, which is like the free training he said, and basically a call to action IGDMs to actually get the bookings. So let's break down the landing page first of all. So landing page says, basically 100% free training shows how I turned $47 into a consistent $400,000 per month as an online coach in my first 2 years. No massive following or complicated systems needed. Now, obviously over here, there's like a 14-minute VSL and basically a call to action buddy to apply for the limited coaching. And basically below that are like a bunch of testimonials. And once actually someone actually clicks on this link, they get taken to this application form where they just answer a couple of questions, and if they qualify, they book a call. So let's break this down first of all. So the first question they actually ask right over here is, what is your primary long-term goal with the coaching? And then second question, what best explains your current situation? What's the best email to reach you at? Now, normally in a form, you ask for their name, their email, and their phone number in the starting because you want to collect the lead's information. But SAM MILLSAP doesn't do that because he realizes that if he asks them in the starting, the lead will be more skeptical and he wouldn't be, more willing to give it since he's still, he's still cold. So what he does is he places his two easy questions in the starting, and then he asks the important questions like what's your Instagram handle and basically everything. And the sixth question is basically Sam and his team are selective with who they like to work with. Sam, tell us briefly why do you think you will do well with us as an inner circle student. So what this question basically does is that it's basically putting the lead that, okay, the lead wants to work with them instead of the other way around. The lead needs them. So this question really makes them, that, okay, I need to come with a good answer. That way Sam selects me to work with him because I need to work with him. He doesn't need to do that. And then the seventh question, are you 18 plus? Because obviously it's a high ticket offer and they want to work with people that are 18 plus who actually have the money. Then the main question, what is your current monthly income? And then basically a question to basically ask them, okay, how much do they actually have to invest? And if they get qualified, they obviously book in a call in their calendar and basically with a closer, and then they get closed later on, which I'll break down exactly how they do that in part 3 of the video, which is conversions. But now let's talk about the call to action of the IGDMs. So essentially in his bio, he says, DM me coach for my step-by-step process. So once you DM him coach, one of his appointment setters or the people that are actually handling the messages and the leads in his IG account messages you back. Okay, like, what's up, G? You already in coaching or looking to start? And I just said looking to start. And he basically replied with, what's like the goal with starting a coaching business? Trying to just leave a 9 to 5 or just make cash on the side? And I just said, okay, yes, mainly leaving my 9 to 5. And then he said, okay, what has been the biggest struggle so far in starting? Not knowing the right tactics. Then he says, okay, basically makes sense. Don't worry, you're in the same boat as many people. Even my top guys were the same way. How much cash would you say you have set aside to invest in yourself? That way I can see how I can help you. I said 4K because 4K would basically qualify me for any coaching program, high-tech coaching program out there. And then basically he replied with, cool, if you were to invest, would it put you in a bad spot? I said, yes, it would. Okay, cool. What's your credit looking like right now? I said 770, obviously it's a good credit score. So if you can handle 300, 400 a month, then we can move forward, he said. And he said, yeah, that works. And then he basically just provided me a link to basically book a call with their calendar. And basically it's just the same thing, just book with a call closer and getting closed. So this is exactly how SAM MILLSAP is getting qualified leads for his coaching business and for his offer. And basically it's just a mixture of a landing page and basically a CTA on IGDMs. Now let's talk about the conversions. Exactly how does he actually convert these leads into paying customers after he has actually acquired the leads. So after the type form is filled out or you were qualified from IGDM, setter now steps in place. Leads are called and then qualified, 2 hours max response for better results. Then booking with the sales team. After booking date is set, the setter makes sure the lead watches the VSL. This helps nurture the lead to better understand what is being offered. Then basically more time consuming videos is easier to sell. Then there's some manual and some auto actions right over here. So once the lead actually books in the call, to make sure they actually show up to the call, there's some manual actions that need to be done and there's some auto actions that need to be done. So let's talk about the manual actions first of all. So immediate lead books call 1 to 4 days. Setter makes WhatsApp group chat with lead, client and closer. immediate email confirmation, time and location linked to pre-call access. Closer will communicate with the lead 24 hours before, IG and text reminder. 1 hour before the call, IG text reminder plus call link. 5 minutes before the call, IG text reminder and call link. Now the auto action is basically immediate is page redirect confirming call and go to inbox. Then immediate email confirmation, time and location link to add event for calendar. And then 24 hours before the call, 6 hours before the call, 1 hour before the call, 5 minutes before the call, there's an email and a text reminder and basically a call link. So these are like the manual and the auto actions that are being done. And you hop on the call with the closer, client closed, cash collected, amazing, no close, but follow-up emails and DMs from Sam's team. Potential second call to close again once nurtured more in the future. So this is basically the whole sales process. It looks like a pretty simple sales process, but in order for this actually to work, you need to have first of all a good team in place, and second of all, you need to track all the numbers. So you need to have data, so that way you can actually see, okay, which part of this whole entire conversion process is actually missing and which part needs to improve. So you need to have data on how many calls were you booking and how many leads did you get, how many leads actually showed up the call, no show up rate, follow-up rate, how many leads that didn't close, what were their objections, how many leads that closed, okay, why did they close? So all this data really helps you to improve the sales process to maximize for the highest conversion rate. So it might look like a pretty simple sales process, but in order for it to actually work, you need to be tracking every single thing, all the data, and basically have a good team in place. Now this is Sam MILLSAP's whole $400,000 per month funnel and all these systems and strategies and processes he uses. Now I know for a fact that you're probably overwhelmed by all of this information and you're stuck on how to actually implement all of this. If that sounds like you, then let me help you out. So if you're a coach who's looking to scale his coaching business or a creator looking to build a coaching/info business to monetize your audience, then click the first link down below in the description. It will look something like this, and schedule a call with me and my partner, and we'll have a chat and we will basically analyze your whole entire existing funnel if you're an existing coach or already has a coaching business, and basically we'll give you guidance and clarity on exactly how you can implement this whole entire funnel, these systems and processes to actually scale your own coaching business or actually build a coaching business if you're a creator looking to monetize your audience. And we'll see if there's a potential partnership opportunity between us to help you implement these systems and this funnel and these strategies into your own coaching business and to help you scale or start your coaching business. With that being said, if you found value in this video, then consider checking out this video where I break down Brett Scale's $400,000 per month funnel. And in this video, I break down exactly everything, the exact strategy that Brett Scale's using. So exactly how he gets traffic, how does he turn that traffic into interested leads, and exactly how does he turn that interested leads into actual $400,000 per month in profit with his coaching business. With that being said, I hope you found value in this video, and I'll see you in the next one.